In this report, Dr. McDaniel, who was an historian of science, an epistemologist, that's someone who basically asks, how do we know what we know, and this philosopher, chairman of the department, on his own time, with his own money, laboriously over 2 years, put this report together. He interviewed all the members of our team. He interviewed people at NASA. He went looking at other independent investigators. He did a top-to-bottom job.
So then this paper he handed was a demand, in essence, a scientific demand. They examined this.
For fairness, for absolute logical fairness in testing what was a robust hypothesis, which he thought we as independent investigators had done a bang-up job in making a case for inquiry.
Well,
not that we had proven it, but that we'd made a case that it was worth looking at.
Had he not delivered that paper, would that spacecraft have disappeared?
Well, it's interesting because in this document, one of the things he says outright is that he felt this was on the eve of going into orbit, with NASA still declaring they had no guarantee that they were ever going to take even one picture in 2 years of Cydonia, the pyramids, the face, whatever. He said NASA is about to make one of the most egregious errors in the history in science, in the history of science. And a few hours after that statement was delivered to NASA headquarters, that whole spacecraft just up and disappeared.
Well, I say it again. Had that report not shown up, do you think the spacecraft would still be winging its way around the red planet?
Well, it was one of many factors. I was on Good Morning America the morning that NASA announced it had disappeared. I was debating by satellite from New York here with Bevan French, who was the program scientist that McDaniel delivered his report to.
Disappeared on a Saturday, didn't it?
It disappeared 14 hours before they announced it had disappeared, Art.
Oh.
They waited 14 hours to let us know. And I said to one reporter, were they waiting to notify the next of kin? And we're talking a robot here, guys, and there had been several glitches on the way from Earth to Mars. It was launched in September of 92, and it was supposed to arrive on August 24th of 1993, and several times during the flight out, the cruise out to Mars, there had been hiccups where it had kind of gotten off track on the sun and had gone into a spin mode and kind of, yelled for help. NASA, JPL, had told reporters gathered in California within minutes of each of these glitches. On this particular glitch, when it disappeared, they waited, and they waited, and they waited. They waited 14 hours until exactly when the interview and the debate between me and Bevan French on ABC ended, and then NASA, when their man came off very badly because he couldn't answer the question, why not take the pictures of Cydonia and show these guys are crazy if they're crazy? When that interview ended, when that debate ended, that's when NASA said, oh, by the way, guys, we lost Mars Observer last night, 14 hours ago.
And so you were on the show making the case
that we had a right to find out from live television, with no censoring, with new photography, if this hypothesis will stand the test of science, the test of time, which is simply take the damn pictures.